So you across the camera, if you've ever been into a trade and you've been in profits and you didn't take profit and let it go all the way back down to a losing trade, or even to a trade that makes no money, you are doing something wrong and you are greedy. And what you need to know is how to be grateful instead of being greedy.
Why are you so worried about getting to the end result right now? The consistency is what you should be worried about, because that will allow you to make that 2 or 5 or 10 or 15 or 20 grand every single week. And you'll have that on clockwork every single week.
It took me 2 years to become profitable, and in those 2 years, trading absolutely changed my life. And it wasn't about becoming profitable. Yes, that's great, but that's not the purpose of this video, because trading will change your life in more ways than what you realize. Because trading is something that you will go into, and it's not talked about enough, I don't think. And you will go into it, and it will find your worst qualities, and then the markets will completely exploit them, and it will continuously exploit them until you change them.
It was almost disbelief, right? You know, like when you're carrying something stressful or heavy for so long that when you finally have it off your back, it's not that you feel relief right away. You just stand there and you're like, I'm feeling pretty light right now. Because in those moments, you think about every blown account. You think about every Sunday night you've spent sick to your stomach, going over your strategy, making sure you're going to do things right. You know, every time you moved to stop loss because you needed the trade to hit the TP, and if you didn't move your stop loss, it was going to take you out. Almost every discussion or rationalization or justification you've had with yourself at 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock at night, staring at a chart that had already said you're not having a trade, but you still don't listen. All that, every single bit of it, was the price of admission for this one boring normal Tuesday. That cold coffee I had beside me, that just seemingly still the world comes to a standstill type of moment.
So you should shift your thought process in terms of like where your goals and where you want to get to in life. Instead of having it with the ideology of saying like, I need to get a payout right now, tell yourself, I need to get to consistency right now. And by shifting that mental frame to saying, I need to get to consistency right now, what ends up happening is you end up getting the payouts. Just because you slow down and you reapproach the way that you're looking at the markets and the way that you're thinking.
It's simple. So stop getting FOMO, stop fearing of missing out. You're not missing out on anything. Why you're missing out? Because you're actually missing out on education. You're not studying on how you could have gotten a better entry. So what do? You end up just revenge trading and over trading and FOMOing into it. You get a fear of missing out, so you trade into it, you start chasing it, and then you lose. And then you get upset, and then you start revenge trading, and then everything's happening at once, like I said. So, in order to not get FOMO, like I said, understand that there's always going to be another day. Understand that not trading is still trading, and education is key. Education, wisdom, and experience on the market is a key factor of your trading.
There's so much you have to go through to get there. And I think as well, like, everybody wants to skip the learning phase, but no one skips the learning phase. And it's true though, it's not about the destination, it's about the journey. And you need to start enjoying the journey. Like, it's not a bad thing. Like, you're learning about yourself, you're learning a new skill, you're getting better, you're working on things that you need to.
It benefits you in your life and your career and your ability to make more money. And the biggest thing out of this entire video I really want to get through your guys' head is if you go upon life thinking that you're not capable of doing something and you reaffirm these things to yourself on a day-to-day basis, that's going to ultimately shape your reality. But what I do believe is very, very true is how you think on a day-to-day basis externally, outside of what you do, will then shape how you are in whatever your career is or what you do. If you go upon life and you're just a scared individual within all aspects of your life, it's going to be much more difficult for you to actually be able to make it within day trading or within any career that you end up pursuing. And I'm really making this video for the version of myself that was a chud, so I had some wake-up call to actually start changing some things about my life. And the way you start building confidence is by doing things that are out of your norm, getting outside of your comfort zone.
When you guys compare yourselves to other traders and their journey that sets a expectation on your trading, which then sets stress on your trading, which then this unknown stress or this random cause of stress causes you to be over analytical, right? Or over doubtful, or you start second guessing on the charts. So you have low self-esteem on the charts, no confidence, and you start fucking up on your executions, and you drill yourself into this hole simply because you're comparing yourself to other people, which is causing you to set expectations.
When you rush the process, you become hyper-focused on the outcome. And when you're hyper-focused on the outcome, I want you to think about how bad that is for you in your trading. When you care so much about every little nitpicked thing inside of your own trading, the result of that is psychologically messing up, taking dumb trades that were completely rushed and just only based off of FOMO, not your strategy, getting extremely intense anxiety and becoming extremely nervous when you're close to passing your funded account or close to getting the payout. These are all things that correlate back into just FOMO, greed, fear, and overall rushing the process.
There will be endless opportunities, but not every single opportunity is the right opportunity. Remember that. The right opportunity is the opportunity that aligns exactly with your plan. Does that make sense? You have a plan, you have a strategy, you have rules. Does the opportunity align with all of them? Nah, then don't take it. If it aligns with it, you're taking action with speed and you're jumping right in it, deep diving. Simple as that.
And hold yourself accountable, be self-responsible, and figure out your problems and fix those issues and be a man about your business. That's your job. That's what you need to do, and you will get paid, right? Over time, over progression, over self-analyzation, over figuring out over self-honesty and self-responsibility, figuring out what you're doing wrong, fixing those problems, and just focusing on your work and your business and not slipping up, you will eventually see the progression that you're looking to make.
How was I going to go from the crash out degenerate trader that I'm basically a gambler right now to a serious and mature trader who is actually making consistent profits month after month? Well, you have to think, what habits does that version of myself have developed? What does my ideal human or my ideal version of me do on a regular basis? What habits would the perfect version of me have built?
Right? You should not be searching for a bunch of shit, searching for a trade, searching for, how can I make money today? I need to make money. No, you don't need to make money. That's the reason you're losing, because you're impatient and you're trying to expedite the process. You're trying to become rich right away. And that is how you actually not get rich. That's how you go even more broke. When you only focus on money, when you focus on an outcome, that's how you become broke.
The markets will show you exactly what you need to work on, right? And you need to listen to the markets, because you can't expect yourself to continuously do the exact same things, right? And then sit there and wonder, well, why aren't I profitable? You know exactly why you're not profitable, because you don't follow your rules, or you're not patient enough for your setup to appear, because you're in a rush to make money, because you're watching too many videos that are saying you're running out of time, this, whatever it is that you're watching.
When you are unprofitable and you're broke, you gotta literally tell yourself you're a profitable day trader, you're capable of doing this. You're gonna go down this very untraditional route, and it's gonna be very difficult, but you are a literal, what's the word I'm looking for? You are a literal warrior. You're a warrior that's capable of going down this very untraditional route, and you are capable of doing this. Even though your friends and your family and your parents are telling you you aren't capable of doing it, you know that you are your own therapist, you are your own warrior, and you are capable of doing this.
Slow down, bro. Slow down. You guys are comparing yourselves to people who have been at this shit for 5 years. And you've been at it for 6 months. The more you slow down, the more calm you trade, the more confident you trade, the more you're focused on the controllables of what you're doing right, what you need to remove that you're doing wrong, and then you start building that consistency. And by the next 3-5 months, you would have made way more progression than if you just kept pitying yourself and comparing yourself to people like me. Does you no good. It has no correlation with trading, no correlation with NASDAQ. Does you no good.
There's gonna be two types of people, right? There's gonna be the first person that's like, bang, $100 in 5 minutes. Like, dude, I'm doing so good. I'm super happy with those profits. I'm gonna study and I'm gonna do better. And then there's that second person that's like, dude, I'm only up $100 in 5 minutes. Like, dude, I need more. Like, I want more. It has to keep going. And that second person is the very greedy person that will end up losing in the long term. But the number one person that we were talking about that is very grateful and that actually is happy with their profits and happy with taking a winning trade, that person will win in the long term.
Maybe a friend or a family member is just constantly just a dickhead. And you're sitting there and you're questioning, why is this person like this? Well, they act that way because of the fact that they don't believe in their own ability to be able to become an exceptional human being. So because of the fact that they don't believe in themselves, they're going to try to spread that plague amongst everyone around them. And this is another life lesson in philosophy I want you guys to practice, is separate yourself away and as far away as possible from those people. If you have a friend right now or a family member that constantly just genuinely does not believe in your ability to make it or their own ability, oh yeah, bro, I don't know if this is gonna work, or yeah, bro, I don't think you should day trade. You should do something else. Separate yourself, because they are a literal cancer.
How slowing down and trading specifically, right? This is for all my traders. Slowing down and trading will actually speed up your process, and trying to rush trading will actually cause you to slip and fall and slow down your process and crash and burn.
Because I lacked confidence in the market. But this is the funny part about trading, is because it's not hard to work out what it is you're doing wrong. Like, the markets will tell you straight away what you're doing wrong. Like, it's not like it's a secret thing and you're like, oh, I don't know what's wrong, I don't know what's wrong. Like, the markets will literally tell you straight away, you are a revenge trader. That's why you're losing money. You're not waiting for your setup because you have no patience. You know, you're watching too much stuff online, so you're FOMOing in and buying the top and, you know, selling the bottom. So
When? You ever ask yourself that? Like, damn, when am I gonna actually be able to be consistent? When am I really gonna start sticking to my rules? When can I really make this trading shit come true? When? Whenever the fuck you lock in. That's when.
You need to be very careful with the things that you tell yourself and tell other people, because what comes out of your mouth will ultimately shape your reality as a human being or as an individual. If you constantly feed yourself negativity and you constantly tell yourself that you're not capable of doing certain actions or certain things, that's going to then correlate within your life as a whole.